We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy, a cause of American democracy itself? We must unite to protect it. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy. Supreme Court reform. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in a century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. So let's act together. Preserve our democracy.
President Biden speaking for just over 10 minutes in the Oval Office last night. Many, obviously, news networks taking that live as those remarks were happening.
That primetime address, the focus of former President Trump's latest campaign fight, though, demanding equal airtime. But does his campaign actually have a case? We'll bring in Barack Lurie. He's an attorney. We have Michael Gottlieb, a criminal defense attorney, also Ben Weingarten in studio, senior contributor with The Federalist. So, gentlemen, the New York Times obtained a letter that was sent out to several mainstream media outlets from the Trump campaign's general counsel saying, quote, it appears that President Biden's speech will not be a bona fide news event, but rather a primetime campaign commercial. And then it goes on to cite FCC's equal time rule, insisting Trump be given similar airtime. So I'll go to Michael on that one if I can. This was put out before, again, the primetime address was heard, but they said it appears that this may be essentially a stumping speech. Did you see it that way, Michael? Is there any legal standing on that for equal airtime and citing the FCC rule?
No, I don't think there's any legal ground. First of all, I think they did it prematurely. They should have waited and seen what it was. Second of all, the fairness doctrine has died in 2011 entirely, first in 1987. So there is no fairness anymore. And President Biden took to the airways and he talked about what he's going to do for the next 5 months. He never mentioned Trump by name. And so therefore, I don't even think ethically or morally the news stations have an obligation under the equal time rule at all to give former President Trump any airtime to match the 10 minutes that Biden had.
Okay, interesting perspective. And bear with us, gentlemen. We're awaiting remarks from the Vice President Kamala Harris. We might have to cut to that. But Barack, let me go to you. None of the broadcast networks have responded to the letter, but Newsweek is reporting that the FCC's fairness doctrine was killed during the Reagan presidency. President Reagan strongly opposed it. Under his presidency, the FCC voted to scrap the doctrine, sort of what Michael was pointing to. Barack, do you agree? Is there any chance here the Trump campaign is going to use this to get equal airtime?
Well, I think Michael's right here about this. And this falls under the category of be careful what you want because it may be used against you later on. And the fact is that if Trump becomes president, and for that matter, for the rest of this campaign, they may try to get this equal airtime from the Democrat side. So, look, I suppose the good news from the Trump campaign is that
Barack, I got to jump in. I apologize on interrupting you. We are monitoring that live event with Vice President Kamala Harris.